Put your phone down, Karthik. All right. Welcome. Welcome to the inaugural first Turf and Tools podcast. There we go. Had to do the intro.
How was the feedback on the intro video that you put out?
Yeah, people were...
Was it all right?
Yeah, a little bit of positivity. Let me take these off. I don't actually need them. I've got headphones on. Just destroying myself. We've got Karthik here. Karthik, welcome.
Thank you.
Karthik is the co-host for the Turf and Tools podcast.
Yeah, thanks for letting me be a part of it, I guess.
I think a lot
cool.
of people would have been guessing that it was you. I saw a few people in the comments guessing that it was you anyway.
I think, someone literally, I think one of the first comments was pretty much on Spotify, on YouTube.
Yeah. So if you don't know, I'm Tim the Lawnmower Man. I make online videos cutting overgrown grass normally. Karthik's helped me out a few times, but you do your own stuff. What do you do?
I just mow my lawn at home, but I just mow it a bit too religiously, I guess. And as with anyone on social media, people get sick of, at home anyway, get sick of your lawn pictures and lawn videos. So you jump on Insta or jump on TikTok and I've got a baby little following.
He's being a little bit modest. He's got a little bit of a following on TikTok and Instagram. Goes by the handle Obsessive Lawny. Loves doing his lawn at home. I'd say, and I don't really want to demean you or minimise what you've done, because we've all got an initial following for one reason or another, and I know mine. Yours would have to be the Power Rotary Scissors, wouldn't it?
Probably PRS and some of those crazy scalping Renault videos.
Yeah.
So early days when you didn't know what you're doing, you didn't have scarifiers available to you, so you just scalp every time it got spongy.
Yeah.
And people at the time anyway seem to love sort of calling you an idiot for scalping all the time. We're
going to get into our topic for this podcast, which is what's the best tool to use to trim your edges. I actually should have thought about the title before I...
What, just trimmers and edges? Oh, is it? I'll get used to it eventually, I'm sure.
I've got to remind Karthik to put the microphone near his mouth. We will have mic stands next week. This is all very new. Mic stands are arriving today, so...
Yeah. I need my hands to talk.
There's going to be a lot go wrong, not much go right. But, topic for today is tools to trim your edges. Or what did you say?
Just line trimmers and edges?
Well, we've got a PRS in there too, so...
Yeah, I guess, yeah. Okay, what is it? Tools to...
Okay. Yeah. Well, you get the point. I'm sure I'll come up with a snappier title and people might know what we're talking about before listening or watching this. Initially, though, I want to show you a couple of things. We might do a little bit of tool news. I've seen a couple of things online and I thought I'd get your thoughts on them. I haven't actually shown them to you yet. Maybe I can run some... I know this isn't a great visual medium as a podcast, but we can describe what we're seeing. It will be on the full video podcast on YouTube too. This came up in my feed. It came up as Doom Cross Husqvarna Auto Mower, which is, if you don't know what Doom is, it's a classic first-person shooter from the...
like the video game.
Yeah, the early 90s.
Yep.
Great video game. And there's a bit of a meme that, because it's got somewhat low requirements to run on machines because it's an older game, for people to get it running on different things, whether it be an Android watch or whatever, or a fridge, whatever, anything with a computer. So I saw this one and I couldn't, I had to look. I'm thinking, is this April Fool's? Or...
I'm still trying to work out what it's going to be.
Well, I'll show you in a second.
Doom versus Husqvarna Auto Mower.
So Husqvarna are leaders in the robot mower scene, and they have... Most auto mowers have some sort of display on them and some sort of computer in them. I believe this is for their higher end machines, the bigger ones. I think it's Sierra, I think they're called. Again, I don't even know if this is a joke. I wanted to get your thoughts. It's actually on a video game website, IGN. We'll play it here. It's like a full preview, as if it's a new game coming out. Very...
Is the audio off? Yeah.
Yeah, very intense looking. I'll play some overlay of it on the YouTube version, but so they're showing the Husqvarna robot mower. It's got some intense looking lights at the top, and apparently
it's like one of those Formula One car new season releases.
Yeah, it's like a livery reveal for an F1 car. Playable on Husqvarna robotic lawnmowers. Doom. Worldwide release April 2024. Now,
I got no idea what that is.
Free updates available for all nearer models. See, initially I thought, this is clearly just a joke, but at the end there saying that mentioning the specific model. I'm starting to think it might not be.
I'm not sure what to make of that.
I know.
I don't know how that works. Yeah.
I don't know if it's just good marketing. It doesn't seem like the sort of marketing that Husqvarna would normally engage in because they're generally...
You sure Husqvarna had anything to do with that?
What was that?
You sure if Husqvarna had actually anything to do with that? Or it's just someone else?
Potentially, I don't know, but it does seem out of their box for what they normally do. They are quite conservative, but go check it out if you want. It'll be interesting. Oh, maybe I just spot it. Just said out April. Are they like preempting an April Fool's joke?
I don't know. I want to Google it and see what shows up now.
Well, we'll do it a bit later, but that's the first bit of news in Turf and Tools world. Doom cross Husqvarna auto mowers. The other thing I saw, I get a lot of TikToks and Instagram reels sent to me. Anything that goes viral, anything lawn related, it gets sent to me right away. And this is one that's been sent to me, particularly lately. I don't know why, because this attachment for a lawnmower has been out for a couple of years now. I actually asked them if they could send me out one at one stage, but they're in the States and the postage was too dear, apparently. Right. So the brand is, can you pronounce this? Because I can't. Trimmy XS?
I think Trimmy XS?
I don't know. It's a bit of a hard one.
Trim YXS?
I don't understand. If you've got to look at it that hard...
I think you might be overthinking it. I think it's just Trimmy XS.
I feel like I'm looking at a number plate and not getting it. Everyone's laughing and going, oh, don't you get it? And I'm, no, I don't. Yeah. So, they make this attachment that you can put on the side of your regular lawnmower, and essentially it's a...
I've seen this before,
It's been out for a couple of years and it's been doing the rounds virally, but it's a whippersnipper, line trimmer attachment for your lawnmower. So it goes... How would you describe that?
I don't know. I really want to think it will work, but I don't know.
I think in the right circumstances, it could work, like what I'm showing you here. This clip I've been sent so many times. It's going up against a fence.
It clearly works. We can see that it works in that, like, if they know what they're doing. But I just, I don't know. Feel like it's over. I don't know. I don't know what to make of that. I've seen this heaps of times.
Yeah.
And the instinct is to just discount it as another idea that doesn't work. But the video proves that it obviously can work, I guess.
I can't imagine it working in our
settings.
Yeah. So to give you a visual, because people are listening to this, so it's the shaft of it looks like it's attached essentially to one side, the front and rear wheels, and the working end of it, like the line trimmer head, goes out ahead and obviously rotates.
Yeah, it's basically a line trimmer that looks like it's attached to the side of your lawnmower, right? So as the mower is going by, the line trimmer is sort of also doing its job on the edges.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I can see why it's gone viral. Because as you're thinking about what you're watching and will it work, we probably watched it like 8 times, 10 times already.
Well, I get a lot of people. It's very mesmerising to watch. I get a lot of people asking me if I think this would be good, and I don't know. I don't feel like it's going to save a lot of time. Maybe in certain circumstances, and maybe we can try one out at some stage. Maybe we just bite the bullet and buy one and get it sent over here. But I think, particularly in Australia, it might be a little bit...
Wonder, the multi-tools that we've got, I'm sure we could tie one up on a mower and attempt it. Oh, no, you can't power it. Sorry, no, I take that back.
That's true, yeah. So it's powered by a battery. It must have its own battery pack.
You reckon? I thought it was running off the same engine as the mower.
No. It's just an attachment because it can go on any mower.
Right.
Yeah. But that's that. Go and have a look at that. Trimmy XS.
Yeah.
I'll have it on
it's not the kind of lawn news I was expecting you to pop up.
No, well, it's been sent to me about 25 times this week, so I appreciate you all sending me that, and now we've actually got some reason for you to send me them so we can talk about them. The other bit of lawn news, which is home lawn news essentially, big problems for lots and lots of people, myself included, just the rapid rise in fungal issues and armyworm.
Have you been watching the grub stuff?
Yeah.
Every lawn feed, everywhere,
Yeah. So lots of people being stung.
Yep. Even my missus knows what lawn grubs are now. She was showing me pictures of, I think it went viral somewhere, a picture of the grub nest or whatever you call it under like awnings and stuff like that. And it's everywhere. Like I've got some on my backyard too.
Yeah.
And my wife was actually asking me, have you put whatever you're supposed to put And I said, yeah, it's had aceleprint. So yeah, if you guys,
So no worries for you.
oh man, aceleprint, best thing ever
Yeah.
in terms of, once 6 months, you're sorted, don't have to worry about it.
So the army worm will literally just march across your lawn and eat it all up, destroy it, move on to the next one. And aceleprint is, I guess that's the active ingredient in...
Yes, it is. Yeah, so I think Yates do a version of it that is available through Bunnings.
Yeah.
But then the main one's through one of the sort of bigger companies. I forget.
Yeah.
Syngenta.
Yeah, okay.
That's
I
who do
know
that.
Lawn
Yeah.
Solutions have their own
version
powered
as
by
well.
aceleprint.
Yeah.
So
I think
good
it's
to throw
very-
it in. It's last 6 months, does it?
6 months. Yeah, it's very kid friendly and pet friendly from my understanding as well. And
Yeah.
like look again. If there are better products out there, we just haven't heard about them because we're not experts in the topic.
No.
But from everything I've heard or
Everyone
listened
seems to say-
that seems to be the go-to safest product
Yeah.
for grubs. And that the thing with that is I think it's preventative as opposed
Exactly.
to you've got the problem and then you're just trying to kill it.
Yeah. So if you do see it and it's happened to you, that's not going to help you. That's what's going to stop it from happening.
It can help as well, apparently.
Okay.
But I think it's usually
there's-
used as a preventative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's better stuff to put on it
Just to
once
kill
you
it.
actually
Yeah.
have them to get rid of the grubs. But it's been on the news. I've seen it on 7. I've seen it
Yeah.
on Channel 9. So
And I think then usually the healthier your lawn, the more likely you're actually
Yes.
going to get hit by
Yeah.
them because there's a lot of nutrient for the
lot of
for the
food
grubs.
from to eat. I actually I had on my. You will see they do make little nests,
Yeah.
as Karthik was saying earlier, in the eaves and on the ceiling of your outdoor areas.
People with kids and trampolines, they seem to love trampolines. You know
Yeah,
the little
okay.
mesh on the trampoline?
Yeah.
They seem to love that stuff as well, yeah.
Well, I had a look yesterday because I was thinking about what we talk about for this, and I'm like, oh wow. So
You've got some
I
as
just
well?
hosed them off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you got a aceleprint down?
I
or
don't.
what do you do
I
normally?
don't.
No?
You know what? I've every season we go in, I'm thinking, is this the season I get stung? Because
Yeah.
I've never put any preventative stuff
Yeah.
for insects.
And that's the
which-
thing with, I think, grubs, right? Most people that sort of really preach kind of have been hit at some stage and they
Yeah.
go, yes, you can skip it and you might get away with it, but when it gets you, it just breaks your heart if you're into lawn.
I think it's like people that apply sunscreen after they've had a skin cancer removed or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, that's really dark, but okay. We're just talking lawns, yeah.
Yeah, but I think next season I potentially will.
But
put
now's
some
as good
down.
a time as any. You're in the sweet spot for putting it down now for winter.
Maybe I'll get some.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll get some. But yeah.
I mean, it'll be some interesting content to show if your lawn is hit by grubs, I guess. But it'll be a very short video to say the lawn's gone.
The other thing, the fungal issue. As I said, if you've watched any of the turf and tool stuff, I've had fungal issues out the back. We've had it's been so much rain, so much humidity here in Sydney and other parts of Australia, and it's just they're the sorts of conditions where the fungal stuff just thrives. And the best solution for it essentially is not having to put some sort of chemical down. The sun coming, it drying out, and then
and I think organic practices like looking after your lawn well, but I must admit, fungal is probably my most hated topic when it comes to lawn care because I know nothing about it either. So I can't wrap my head around. There's just too many concepts around it. Even with the fungicides, there's all these classes, and you can't apply one more than once a year, one more than twice a year. If you apply one class, and you got to switch to a different class if you need to reapply. And there's just so much, and there's so many different types of funguses. And you can't just willy-nilly there are some that are sort of blanket sprays that will cover a range. But it's just, you're just spraying and spraying when you're spraying it because you don't know what you're dealing with.
Which I don't like doing. I try and minimise any sort of chemical spraying that I have to. I actually had Grow Lawn Care come out and spray for me because, I mean, they're licensed to do that sort of stuff. They know exactly what to put down. And I just don't want to be playing with it.
Do you actually know what he sprayed? Like what fungicide he sprayed?
He did tell me, but,
Forgot? Okay.
In one ear,
out
the other one. But that's the beauty of having someone come and do stuff like that. If a lot of people will just willy-nilly just go and get a product, not even read the label properly.
So I reckon he's got to maintain. Well, if he's commercial, then he have a license. They have to maintain when they spray it out, right?
Yeah, and he's insured and everything as well. So if something goes wrong, it's covered. He was spraying something that once dry is good for pets and animals, not good for, but it's
safe for.
Yeah, exactly.
After.
That's probably a better word. But that's probably the news wrap up. If you've got any news of the week or interesting TikToks or Instagram Reels, send them through to us. We'll have a look. Turf and Tools. We're on Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. All right, Karthik is grabbing our first prop, and I just realised I didn't really explain what our podcast is going to be or what it's going to be about. No, it's all good. I've got a hand. This is Turf and Tools, so it's basically about your home lawn care enthusiasts, and that's all we are. We're definitely not professionals or anything. We just like a nice lawn at home, and then the tools around it. Luckily enough, we get access to a lot of stuff, a lot of new stuff that we can show you. And I know your inbox gets a lot of messages with people asking about lawns.
Yeah, but about lawns, yeah. But when it comes to tools, I guess, that's probably why I hang out with you more often. I can vicariously get to test tools through you.
And
it's always fun, yeah.
Traditionally, I've burned a lot of money on outdoor power equipment. I don't know.
I've not seen too many people as obsessed with just toys in general. Every time you see a new toy,
I'm very consumeristic
in that regard. 2 days later, you're like, I got one.
So luckily, Turf and Tools lets me do that in a fashion that's not going to send me broke. Most of the gear's on loan, just so you know. It's not like we're not owned by anyone, not sponsored by anyone. We play with absolutely every brand. So, we'll show you anything we get. Few things on the horizon. I just picked up the Massport Rotorola.
I saw that video. Yeah,
which is it's a rotary mower. So a normal looking mower at the front. The only difference is instead of having rear wheels, it's got a drum at the back. A roller, which is good for striping up your lawn. So it's a normal-ish mower that you can stripe your lawn with. It's not a full cylinder mower or anything. What else have we got coming up? I've told you some other stuff.
Oh, sorry, no.
The other big one. I've been promising to get around to this one, the Azito battery mower, the 36 volt, 2x18 volt. I've had a bit of a play with that lately. I actually forked out for that one, spent $500 just to test it, just because I had that many people asking about it.
Yeah. So that's going to be, how that video is going to go, at least 50% of the audience on that video, because the moment they hear the brand name, they're just going to start. Yeah. Like, absolutely no context, but the moment they hear the brand name, they're going to get bagged out anyway.
Definitely. Azito's one of those brands that people either love or hate. The ones that are using it and they're like, oh, it's great for me.
You don't have to love it or hate it, right? You can still look at each tool individually and then choose not to buy it if you want to, but
And that's what we'll try and do here, look at stuff and look at it in the context of what its actual intended
audiences,
I get a lot of contractors getting upset if I'm trying out some Ryobi stuff. That stuff's not for you. That's DIY stuff.
Even Ryobi doesn't tell contractors to buy their gear. Like Ryobi probably say, don't use our gear for contract work.
They're a self-confessed DIY brand. So that's what the podcast is going to be about. There's also full reviews on the YouTube channel, Instagram, TikTok, all that sort of stuff. But topic of the week is, to me, it's tools to get nice, crisp lawn edges with. Normally I say crispy, and I had someone pick me up in the comments saying it's crisp, not crispy. And I thought about it, and I'm like, you're probably right, but I kind of want to keep going with crispy.
Why not?
Yeah. I guess crispy's like burnt, whereas crisp is
No, crispy is more like crunchy, but
do you want
sharp. I don't care. I don't know. Who cares? Call it whichever one you want. Who cares?
Well, I'm going to keep going with crispy, probably just out of habit, but I will acknowledge I'm probably wrong. But
a crisp edge does sound better, doesn't it? It's like a crisp...
I'll go with crispy. But the first tool, we've got 3 tools here we're going to talk about today. The first tool is the most versatile of the lot, in my opinion anyway. It is the humble whippersnipper / line trimmer. What do you call it, Karthik?
Yeah, whippersnipper, I think is what I've called it, but I think that's an Aussie thing, isn't it? Calling it whippersnipper?
Yeah.
Yeah, Americans just call it...
I used to call it a whippersnipper prior to doing this, but obviously a lot of American
line
audience...
trimmer, string trimmer.
They've got no idea what I'm talking about. So, really, really versatile tool. If you're an extreme beginner, you've got a motor on the end of a shaft. Yeah, sure. You've got a motor on the end of the shaft. We've got a head with... Well, we've got water coming out of the head. That's the rain for you. We've got a head here, a bit of trimmer line either side of it. It rotates around and cuts the grass in a very simple fashion. Pretty easy to use. A little bit harder to use if for detail work without a bit of practice or technique. Now, if you're cutting horizontally, these things, you almost can't go wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it's thick, you can have issues with your
Well,
line breaking off.
Yeah, I think that for beginners, that's usually the hard part, right? You're getting used to how you carry it, how you use it, and you're taking chunks off accidentally.
Yeah.
And you kind of start hating that part of it, and then it turns into a chore, and then they don't want to mow their lawns anymore as well.
I do flog it all the time, but I do have a how to use a line trimmer tutorial on YouTube that's got 250,000 views now.
It keeps growing
so
too.
It's helped quite a few people. So have a look at that if you're struggling to use that tool. We're more talking about this tool in terms of a vertical edge, meaning you turn it upside down and cut it vertically. So they're not specifically designed for that. I mean, they're designed to cut horizontally.
Yep.
But if you have the right technique, you can get a nice and crisp lawn edge. Was that a lawnmower starting up?
Nah, I think it's just a door.
You can get a nice crisp lawn edge with this tool. How do you go with it?
I've got better over the years. I hated using it to start with for the vertical edges. I was really bad, especially when you really look after your lawn and you finish your mowing and everything looks really good. And then you got to go do your edges and something like this if you don't know what you're doing and you end up ruining it.
Yeah.
Yes, I really disliked it, but I'm okay at it now. And I can see now where there's a lot of times where you don't want to be swapping out attachments, and depending on the lawn you're mowing, a lot of times it's just easier to use this for edging as well. And I think if you know what you're doing, even a little bit with practice, it does a great job as well.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's the most versatile tool you'll have in your kit by far, because
in theory you could mow the whole lawn with that, right?
Literally going to say that. You can mow with it. You can do the horizontal edges, the vertical edges.
Yeah. Watching, there's a feed that keeps popping up on my Insta. I think it's South American lawn contractor maybe. And I don't know if it's just him or it's a thing there, but he doesn't seem to have a lawnmower. Seems every video he posts of entire lawns he's doing. I got to find the video, save it, and show you next time.
Yeah, I'll have to see that.
But every video, he's just using a line trimmer across the whole lawn. Decent looking finish at the end too. I don't know. Yeah.
How does it look 2 days later, though?
I have no idea. He doesn't post 2 days later. He posts it while he's working on it.
So yeah, definitely the most versatile tool that you'll have. It can also get through thick, long lawns initially, knock it down. They're pretty cheap as well. They start from pretty cheap. You can get a few $100s. You can get a petrol one that's going to get the job done. Personally, I'd be spending minimum $500 on a petrol one. Personally, for home use, you will get away with less.
Yeah, I was going to say okay. I think it's going to be the common theme with this. If this podcast lasts, is buy what suits.
What do you mean if this podcast lasts?
I'm just okay. When
it's not going that bad.
The theme will always stay where you make sure you buy the tool that suits the purpose you're aiming it for. Yeah, because if you underspend for a tool but you're expecting it to overperform, it's never going to do it either.
I would say though that the line trimmer would be the thing that I would be putting a bit more of my budget.
Sorry.
Come on, Karthik. We're trying to be professional here.
No, we're not. It's just Samsung.
I would say the line trimmer, if you're going to put more of your budget towards that, because if you've got a really bad one of them or underpowered, you're really not going to enjoy doing the lawn. I feel like most lawn mowers will cut the lawn. If you cut regularly, they'll cut the lawn.
I think home lawn, people need to just come up with the mower trimmer combo as a purchase and base their budgets around that topic. So make sure you get those two combination right for your yard, how often you plan to mow it, how often you plan to maintain your edges and all of that stuff. And then think of it as one tool, even though it's two tools, I think, definitely.
My other advice price-wise would be, for most people, I would actually, just for a domestic home lawn now, I would recommend a battery line trimmer. If they're just doing maintenance, I think you're crazy to be buying a petrol one.
Yeah, I think obviously we see where we live around this area, we're kind of similar. Yes, 100%. Obviously, it'll be different if you're, is it WA where you got big land maybe? I don't know.
There's always a million caveats when I'm saying for your average home user. To me, an average home user, if you look around here where we are now, like the average home user lives on less than 500 square metres. They've got less than 100 square metres of turf. Yeah. So that's what I'm sort of referring to there. Yeah, if you've got a large property, potentially a petrol machine's going to be better for you.
Yeah.
But the thing I was saying there, with battery though,
They're lighter, they're easier to use.
Some of them are lighter. I wouldn't say they're all lighter. I mean, we did the comparison test.
But those were all pretty much ones that were built as commercial units.
Yeah.
So again, I guess a light petrol unit would be a light 25cc one.
But price-wise, in my opinion, I would be staying away from the entry level battery line trimmers. And the only reason for that is they're just generally really underpowered. They're bought by people that generally don't like doing the lawn to start with. So they're probably not really going to know how to do it. They're going to struggle. They're not going to have a good time at all. I've tried some. A lot of people ask me which one, and I've not sponsored or anything. The Ryobi 18 volt HP Whisper series. I think it's about, how much was that? I think it was a $269 skin.
Do you want to look it up?
No, that's all right. I don't know what the price is at the moment, but the skin was about $270 from memory. Maybe up to $300. And if you already had the Ryobi batteries, that thing, not a bad little machine.
Yeah.
Did you try it out?
I don't think I've ever tried the 18, but the 36 one 5 years ago, I think it was my missus bought me the 36 volt expanded one as a gift for Christmas or something. And that was when I was just getting into the lawn care thing. We just put our turf down at the time. So I didn't know anything about tools, and she bought it. It's still going. I still grab it. I still use it.
Well, I see your PRS is run off that.
Because it's an expanded one, so I've got like an extra one that I've got the PRS attached to.
Yeah.
I've got the line trimmer attached to the other one, and I've got enough batteries as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got no. I mean, I'm sure the 18 volt does its job as well. I mean,
I just find most people that ask me, it's always, I want to get the cheap. What's the best cheap line trimmer? And I wouldn't say.
Yeah, just to clarify, I'm not saying go get the Ryobi. I'm just saying the 18 volt and the 36 volt does the job. Yeah. So you could get an 18 volt in any brand, and it'll probably do the job as well if you use it often, as opposed to leave it to let it get overgrown.
The other thing I would consider, because we are talking about vertical edges with these things, if you are buying one, keep in mind the guard size.
Yeah.
I would recommend leaving the guard on. The only reason is it's designed to be used for that length of string to start with, and it's somewhat going to protect you. The guard doesn't stop it from throwing a rock off in the distance somewhere else. It's designed to protect you. But if you are going to be using it for vertical edges, make sure you get something that has some sort of a cutaway guard, if I'm describing that right. You can, when you turn it upside down and you're doing a vertical edge, you can actually see what you're cutting. I've tried a couple lately, and a lot of people think I'm okay at this, mainly because they see me doing it in 10x speed, so anyone looks good at that speed. But I've tried out a few machines lately. I'm just like, I cannot do a vertical edge with this machine.
Is that just because of the guard?
The guard, and also if it spins what we deem the incorrect way, which is clockwise.
Oh, okay.
I find anti-clockwise a lot easier to use.
Okay. Couldn't you just start from the other end of the lawn? No?
No, it just doesn't work for me. So, what are your negatives with it?
Yeah, it's not a sort of beginner-friendly tool. I guess it's not someone can't pick it up and get that finish perfect straight away. Yeah. For sure. Like, it takes practice. Yeah. Which, if you're a homeowner mowing your lawn once every 3 weeks, once a month, you're not going to stand there practicing so you can get better at lawn mowing.
You can do your edges, get it done.
Yeah, they just want to move on because it's a chore. They want to get done with it. Yeah. So that'll be the biggest one, I reckon, for me anyway. Speed feed heads, you can explain what? Yeah, reloading is another one that people would. I used to detest it before I found out about speed feeds. Yeah. I used to hate having to refeed them. And you remember when I used to try and I keep breaking the string off? Yeah. Because I didn't use the tip. Yeah. Yeah.
No, definitely. Reloading can be a hassle for people if you don't know how to do it. It is actually quite easy once you know how, even with the traditional load ones. It can be a bit annoying. I generally like the speed feed head, which is the head where you poke the line through the eyelet, pull it out the other way, get both ends even, and then you just like ratchet it up. It winds itself up, and they're pretty easy. And you can get a speed feed head from your mower store that will fit on most machines. Just go to your mower store, ask for a speed feed. They'll know exactly what you're talking about. They do them for straight shaft. They do them for curve shaft. That brings me to another point, curve shaft machines.
I don't know if you want to keep going the Edger tool direction, because, curve shaft, it's another beast altogether, isn't it?
Well, just talking briefly about curve shaft and vertical edges. Again, I can't use a curved shaft machine.
I struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I don't know why.
good luck to you if you can do it. I've seen some people that can do it and it look a little bit awkward because of the nature of how the machine's built. But
I mean, I don't know if you're doing shout-outs and stuff, but Brad from Victoria, Lawn Addict,
yeah,
he uses a curved shaft, and man, his edges are sharp. If you can
luck
get
to him.
sharper, it's amazing edges too. So
you know what? I guess it's like if you're born with one leg and you can get around, and it's impressive. You're seeing
Where
someone.
do you always go to like cancer and one leg? Every time we're talking about two.
I'm just saying, it's like you know, you learn to live with it. So he's learned to live with his.
Well, if we took away your straight shaft and made you use just curved shaft, you would
out
get
of
better.
necessity, yeah.
But again, some people, I think, maybe height's a thing. If you're like tall or you're short, that might come into it, because straight shafts can be a bit further out from your body, right, as opposed to the curved one.
But the other.
So actually, sorry, you're a bit more on the professional contractor side than I definitely am. Where do professionals like really hate the curved shaft though? Like, it's not just that they don't like it; they genuinely seem to think it's beneath them to use the bench shaft.
Well, they're not as robust as well, because the shaft.
Yeah.
It's a flexi shaft.
Okay.
Whereas in a
just
straight shaft, generally it's like a solid shaft.
So don't last as long, you mean?
No, it's just,
okay.
you can probably lose power through it as well, and they're just awkward to use.
Cool.
But don't compare me to professionals.
I said closer too, remember?
The only other thing is you've already probably got this tool, because you basically need one regardless. We're just talking about what you're going to be doing your vertical edges with. So that's the main advantage, is you're probably going to have one of these already in your shed, which may be different to the next tool we're talking about, which is the next crispy line trimmer tool.
Absolutely.
Or vertical line trimmer tool we're going to be talking about is the Blade Edger. I'm holding one in my hand, which you cannot see if you're listening. But all it is it's got a, how would you describe it, Karthik? You're good with words, aren't you?
Am I good with words? A vertical blade, literally. I mean, it's a dedicated tool for a dedicated job. So it's a vertical blade.
A rectangular vertical blade that just spins around and cuts.
Yeah, perpendicular to your lawn, I guess. Yeah. So
there are a few different types of them. The one I'm holding in my hand at the moment is an attachment for a multi-tool, which is a good option. Potentially, if you don't want to have a lot of separate tools, you can get dedicated stick edges, which essentially do the same thing. They just don't come apart or have any other function. Good value. I've tried recently the Ryobi, the new. Again, I'm mentioning Ryobi. It sounds like it's a sponsored thing, but yeah, it's sold out.
No, you've sold out. I said.
No, I wish I had. As far as value goes.
Yeah.
That one's a $300 one. They do have the superseded one that's $199.
Yeah, that's the one you tested at my place and somehow made me look like I was bagging it out, right?
You were bagging it out.
Yeah, I wasn't bagging it out.
So there's plenty of options there. There's also the Atom Edger, which is, you basically wheel that one along like a wheelbarrow. It's got two handles, a little bit more. You see the pros using them a bit more for larger open areas. The great thing about these is, for me, the positives, it's pretty hard to get it wrong.
Yeah. Anyone and everyone will work it out after a couple of goes with it, basically. You might not work it out the first time, but you use it 2-3 times and you kind of get your own technique going. Yeah. And it's straightforward after that. Yeah, it's just really easy.
It carves a nice little groove in there, very uniform, very hard to mess it up, as I said. The only thing I see people struggling with initially with them, they're afraid to scrape it up against the concrete or the hard edge that they're using, because the grinding sounds like you're damaging it. But
you're not doing it right if the sparks are not flying.
I'm happy to run it hard against that edge, and you get better results, a nicer groove that way. I mean, that's all this thing's designed for, so that's the main positive with it is. It's very easy to use. The blades are a consumable. That's only the one thing you've got to keep in mind. You will have to replace them from time to time, which I do on, not that one there, the one I've got on the truck at the moment.
Yeah, you can wear it down quite a bit too. Like mine, I've worn mine down to like almost
You can, but then they're just a nightmare to use. Like it just gets frustrating. The one I use at the moment, normally I use a line trimmer for a couple of reasons. One, it looks a bit more satisfying in my videos. But I also have a multi-tool. I've got the Husqvarna with the Husqvarna attachment. And that's on a 35cc two-stroke. So quite powerful. That rips through some thicker stuff. If it's super, super thick, they can struggle a little bit. Like if it's really, really deep, sometimes I have to hit it with the line trimmer first. But I definitely run with one of them. Yeah, I think they're a great thing to have personally.
And they're great for when you got to cut in an edge first time. So if you haven't done an edge for a long time, rather than a line trimmer, it's good to sort of cut it in and then clean up with the line trimmer after.
Yeah.
But it digs out the soil on the edges as well, so you get a nice crispy edge.
You can change the depth on a lot of them as well. There's like either a wheel adjustment. So you can, if you really want to dig down and get a real groove, or as the blade wears away, it's probably more so for that, the adjustment, because as your blade wears, you're going to have to sit it down
a bit lower.
Lower.
Yeah.
I like to pull a little bit of dirt out, make it look nice and clean.
100%. And it's only usually the first time, right? The second time onwards, the groove's already there. It's just grass that's grown over the groove, so you're just cutting the grass after that. I've
had a lot of people comment that they don't like any sort of a groove, and they get upset. It's like, oh, there's just going to be grass and debris going in. It's like, what? That's what your blower's for.
They don't like a groove?
Yeah.
How do you do an edge without a groove? I don't get it.
Maybe just nick the very top.
Just the grass.
You're not getting any of the soil at all, which it's a valid point. But, for me, I make sure I blow any debris out of the the groove.
That's what the neighbour's lawn's for, right?
Maybe for you, mate. But yeah, they're very tough, pretty robust machine, very easy to use. The negatives would be...
That's another tool you got to buy and pay money. I don't know.
Exactly. It's not
like much negative going for it, to be honest.
No, but it's just if space is at a premium for you and you've already got a line trimmer, which you can use as that, it's nice. I would recommend, just shortly going back to the line trimmer, I think they struggle a bit more with finer leaf grasses. I think if you don't know what you're doing, you can really hack your fine leaf grass like your cooch or rye or whatever.
Get more scalpy with it than anything else.
You can get scalpy or just very easy to rip into it, whereas the wider leaf grasses like your buffalo, I find that it's hard to really mess up, or kikuyu, Whereas the blade edger, again, it's going to be fine on all of them. If I was manicuring a fine leaf grass like a cooch, or cutting a surgrange really low or something, I would definitely use a blade edger.
Yeah. How do you find them when you got to use them, not against concrete or against a hard surface, when you got like I don't know, what do you call them, naked edges, or
I just call it a natural edge. Like I've got it.
Yeah. Have you ever tried to use them on those ones?
I have.
And found a technique that works? Because I haven't.
I have. It comes down to the levels, really.
Yeah.
If there's too much of a drop off,
it doesn't
I find
work.
It's a little bit harder. But
so there's a negative, right?
I've been using the next tool that we'll talk about shortly for my natural edge for that very reason.
Yeah.
But that's the main negative with it, the cost associated with buying another tool, storing another tool. But yeah, there's not a lot of maintenance on it apart from changing your blades every now and then. Potentially, some of them are a little bit harder to manoeuvre than others. The Atom, for instance, if you had a small lawn, I wouldn't want to be buying an Atom edger. Great tool, nothing against it, but it's because it's kind of like a wheelbarrow. You really got to get in behind it. It can be a little bit difficult to manoeuvre in those situations.
Yeah, I know you've always said the Atom's great when you got to do like heaps of sort of long edges, like extended periods of time as well, because I think posture is better with that one when you stand.
And that's why you see a lot of the councils using them. Having said that, I have heard a lot of people say, taller people struggle a little bit.
Yeah, there's no option there. There's no height adjustment, nothing,
I think it's more made for people my height, maybe.
I don't know. That's a very niche crowd in that case, isn't it? I'm still...
What, 7'2"? If you Google me, if you Google how tall is Tim the Lawnmower Man, it comes up that I'm 7'2".
Okay.
So, yeah. It's a little fun fact for you there.
Sure.
It does, I swear. I'm not even lying.
Well, I don't know. I'm just in my head wondering how tall I am if you're 7'2". That's all.
I'm telling you facts. All right, final lawn tool we're talking about, 4 crispy vertical lawn edges. Yeah. And this is one that got you quote unquote famous on TikTok.
Well, not this brand, but this tool. People thought I actually was a salesperson for it, I think, for a while there. That's how much
Well,
I
it
plugged
was
it.
your identity.
Yeah,
Power rotary scissors.
for a while,
So,
yeah, absolutely
again,
loved
this
it.
is not really a visual medium, so we will describe what we're talking about. We have power rotary scissors.
Yeah.
This one specifically is Ego's Roto Cut attachment. So again, another attachment that if you have a multi-tool, you can just plug it into the power head. And the way it works is well, I'll let you explain it. You're probably the expert.
I think you kind of mentioned where it comes in. Look, it's a proper toy, right? As in, it's not a need.
But how
very
it
rarely.
works, most people won't know what it is. You've got
So if you picture how you would cut grass if you were holding a pair of scissors, where it's just a really clean cut. So you got two sort of...
This is a terrible description. I'm going to take over.
Two circular blades.
Imagine you have two circular saw blades, for instance, and they're sandwiched against each other, and they rotate in opposite directions, but they're kind of sharper, and that's how they cut the grass.
Yep.
So, yeah, two blades sandwiched against each other, rotating in opposite directions, and you get a nice fine scissor cut.
100%. Yeah, that's where I was like, I have to own one of these. It didn't matter what, once I'd seen them.
Yeah.
Because if you've got, like you said, fine leaf turf variety, and I had Cooch, obviously.
Yeah.
Once you've done your mow, everything looks great. Pull out your line trimmer and do an absolute hack job of the edges. And then you see what the PRS can... it's called PRS Landscape Blade, bunch of names for it. But once you see what it can do, yeah, I had to have one. And to this day, I love it. Yeah.
Now, we are, again, talking about vertical edges. If you manicure your lawn and you mow it with a cylinder mower and you mow very low, it's a must-have almost. I mean, you don't have to have it, but if you don't have one, you're kind of missing out because you're using your line trimmer, and I don't care how good you are, the line trimmer is going to tear when you do that horizontal pass. Yep. It's going to tear the grass. It's going to look a little burnt once you finish the next day, whereas you run this thing across the top of it and it cuts like your cylinder mower. It's a nice, fine, clean cut. It's better for the plant, repairs itself better.
Yep.
You know, so then less susceptible to things like...
How good are the edges after you've used them as well? How good are the edges? And it's so hard to get it wrong with it too. Yeah.
Now, I will say this particular one, the Ego one, they specifically told me they're not designed to do a vertical edge. So if you've got the Ego one, warranty-wise, I potentially wouldn't be using it. Does it do it? Absolutely.
It'll wear your blades out a lot faster too, obviously.
Yep, because you're chewing through dirt.
Yeah, the one I've got is the IDEC one, and I know everything IDEC puts out for that one is just use it, doesn't matter. Like they say, use it underwater because it's got grease stuff inside, so it doesn't, I don't know, whatever you call it.
Getting technical.
Yeah, bad at that.
So Karthik's saying the IDEC version, which is called the Power Rotary Scissors. If you Google that, that'll come up. That specific machine, that's the one that he's been using. Now that's just the unit itself. It's the head itself, and that attaches to, it comes with some spacers and... Sleeves, sorry.
Yeah.
That'll attach to just about any normal line trimmer, doesn't it?
Straight shaft, yeah.
Straight shaft, of course, yeah. You fit that head to your straight shaft line trimmer, or if you have, again, a multi-tool, you can have a sacrificial attachment shaft and attach it to that, which I've done that. That's how I've run mine.
That's what I've done as well.
And as you said, the IDEC one is very heavy duty.
I reckon you can. It's obviously got that protective sort of shell around the blades itself as well. That takes a lot of the bumps. So I know you said this one you had blades going a bit off center. Balance was off a little bit on this one. Yeah, with IDEC, because they protected completely the blades. You just wear the outside of the.
Well, I don't think this was a wear issue that I've been having. Mine kind of wobbles on the horizontal.
Hit something?
No. From new. I got it, and I'm thinking. My default is when something's not working right, I'm thinking it's me. I'm like, okay, maybe I'm just being too...
You question your own skill sets,
Or skills, or am I being too critical of it?
Yeah.
So potentially that's just a factory fault or something with it. I would like to try another one. I will at some stage. But yeah, definitely the IDEC one is heavier duty, but also quite expensive.
Oh, that's why I call it a toy straight off the bat. Yeah, it's definitely, it's 400, 450, something like that, yeah.
I'm not sure of the exact price at the moment, but it's an absolute luxury to have. But if you do manicure your lawn, and that's your hobby...
Yeah, because Echo does an identical... Actually, I think it must be the same product that's just labelled
Who's
Echo.
that?
Echo.
Echo.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And
I've seen a few rebadged versions.
Push Rangers got one as well. The three look identical, like exactly the same.
So probably out of the same factory
Possibly,
there.
yeah.
But yeah, really good tool. I've seen you absolutely thrash yours. Like when I saw initially, when I saw you
5
using
years,
them,
it's still going too. Yeah.
yeah, and I'm thinking, dude, you're just you're throwing that in. You're using it as a trench shovel.
Yep.
Like,
Absolutely. Yeah. No, you've seen me with most tools anyway. I'm very bad at looking after them, keeping them maintained, servicing them, and all that.
you have some good blades and some bad blades too.
Well, they're all bad right now, but I've got the big 11-inch ones now.
Yep.
They're awesome for edging, but they are so noisy. They just like you know what they sound like
Well, it's
normally.
metal on metal, yeah.
The 11-inch ones are it's the biggest racket ever when you run them. The edges are great because it's got that much more you can cut in with.
If you don't know them, it's probably the best way to describe it. The noise that a hedge trimmer makes. It's that metal on metal,
Yeah,
but louder.
yeah, and extended. Because with the hedge trimmer, it's very short contact.
You got
metal on
you got
metal.
more metal touching.
Yeah, this is just constantly spinning against each other. Oh my god. It's constantly spinning against each other. So it's already a noisy tool.
Yeah.
And then the 11-inch plates that I put on it now and I'm using, which I must say takes a large part of the enjoyment of the noise it's making right now, the 11-inch. So
Yeah.
the moment I get the smaller blades, like I'll buy new ones, I'm taking the 11 ones off because they're not fun to use right now because of the noise.
The other thing people think about, or a lot of questions I get, and I'm sure you've had the same thing, like what happened...
How quickly do they wear out?
Well, not how they wear out, how they... what sort of damage they inflict on, say you're going against a rendered retaining wall or a brick retaining wall.
Other than the little copper pipes, and that's my story to tell. But other than that, I reckon they make less damage on pretty much any hard surface than your string trimmer or line trimmer does.
Yeah, that blew me away too. Surprisingly, I would agree. If anything, you get a light, if you're running it hard against something, and more so something like plastic, like I've got a little electrical pillar out the front, and if I run it hard against it, it'll have a light scratch across it.
Like even your PVC downpipes and stuff. Like I've put holes in my PVC downpipe with the line trimmer, which was because I'd used the PRS for that long. I kind of went, if that doesn't damage it, that won't. But that takes it out straight away. Now it's amazingly gentle on hard surface for some reason.
Yeah, it blows my mind.
It's hard to explain why it does it, but it's
the other thing with them, you would imagine that bark or rocks, anything getting in there is just going to absolutely destroy it right away. I have heard stories of people breaking them.
Okay, but that's kind of one of their selling points that it doesn't throw anything anywhere. Well,
they advertise them for use around like even wet areas and rocks and gravel. And
I think council work on highways and stuff, so it doesn't go flying into the vehicles, so to speak.
That's another positive for it. It doesn't.
100%.
Your line trimmer is going to flick stuff out, and you could break a window or whatever. But this just doesn't have that flying debris. Just lays it down nicely. I don't understand how rocks don't get caught in it and just jam up the blades.
Yeah, not once have I had that happen. I've had it jam up on really thick, tall grass. But not anything hard.
I don't like them for that sort of stuff, tall grass or whatever.
But don't use it against copper pipes.
Why is that?
You might just nick it all over the place, not realize.
Have a
until
plumber
the next
coming
time.
out, cost you a few $100.
Yeah. Yep, that's about it. Yeah.
And that's why I always carry with me a pair of scissors around the services and all that sort of thing. It's again, whether it be with a line trimmer, PRS, whatever you're using, I don't care how good you are. Eventually, you're going to crack a downpipe.
Yeah. Have you hit a window?
Nah. I
never?
can't. Well,
window door? No?
I can't say because I don't want to
get sued.
No, I don't want to jinx myself.
Right. Okay.
I feel like if I get asked that question a lot, and I'll just say I can't say.
Okay. Fair enough.
So, but that's the power rotary scissors. The negatives, obviously, the cost.
It doesn't handle really tall, overgrown stuff very well at all. It's actually quite painful to use. It's just sort of, I don't know how to say. You probably tried it on tall grass as well, right? It's really slow for one as well. You just can't get through a lot at one go.
If you were doing that, you'd use some sort of blade instead.
Yeah, either that or just your string trimmer does the job on most things.
If there's woody stuff. But then also you've got to have another tool. Yeah,
it doesn't really work very nice. I tried to, when I'd overseeded my lawn previously with rye, and when the rye still sort of just germinated, but it's really thin and And I was hoping to just sort of mow the whole lawn with just the power rotary scissors at that time.
Pulls
and
it
I
out?
It just sort of pushes it over. So it doesn't grip it because it's so thin and stringy. So I guess if it's really fine leaf variety, I don't know if there's...
I've noticed that a bit with my Sir Grange out the front because I always do the edge. Again, I just think they're divine for fine leaf grass because, again, nice finish. But my Sir Grange, because it's a really dense grass, I find when I do that vertical pass, it does lay it over, and then I'll do, a horizontal
pass? Yeah.
Horizontal, it lays it over, and then I'll do a vertical as well. Then I'll go back and do another.
Okay.
Again, but I mean, we're obsessive about our lawn.
Exactly.
Like, we're detailing our lawn. We're lawn detailers. We're not... There's a difference between you going out and just mowing your lawn, getting it done in 15 minutes, and us going out there an hour and a half later for a small block.
Yeah.
You know, that's what we enjoy.
Absolutely no need to spend that much time if you're trying to be productive, 100%. Yeah.
No, but it's ultra satisfying.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the power rotary scissors. Many brands have them. I know Still's got an attachment. Ego's got an attachment. Husqvarna have an attachment for their multi-tools. Who have I left out? Is that everyone? I can't think of anything else. I'm not sure about Makita.
I'm trying to remember if I've seen one. I can't remember.
But they do fit on many machines.
Yeah.
They do come with kits if you're buying the one that Karthik's got, the power rotary scissors. The other ones obviously are attachments made for the specific multi-tool power heads. But yeah, there's three of the best ways or...
Only ways to edge? Oh, other than hand tools, I guess.
We won't be doing that, will we? They're the three sort of... Oh, a little bit of spittle.
Oh, good thing it's audio format. Yeah.
They're the three ways that really, in my eyes, that you can do a vertical edge and get a good result. Three good options for you. Some
if you could
positives,
only have
negatives.
one, though, if you could only pick one and you're not allowed the other two.
I'm going the line trimmer every day of the week. Yeah. Not because it's going to get the better finish, just because it's the most versatile tool.
Yep.
It's great for that. Again, love the rotary scissors. It's an absolute luxury, though. And if you don't have a nice lawn, don't buy that tool. It's not for you.
Yeah, the blade edger is going to do the job just as well anyway for less than half the price,
Correct. And the other thing I didn't touch on, sorry, I keep going back, but they're quite heavy, the power rotary scissors. So if you are a person of slight frame like myself, you're going to really notice the weight because they're very bottom end heavy because of the setup. But what would you choose?
It's always going to be the line trimmer. If it's only one, you're going to use the line trimmer every single time, obviously, because it can do more. And 100% agree that like I've always said that every time, like you said, my identity was the PRS, and I'd post videos and people go, where you buy it from? You tell them where, and they come back to that comment really angry at you because it's so expensive. Yeah, it is. There's no two ways about that, pretty much. Yeah,
it's a luxury. But thank you for joining us for the very first and definitely not last.
That went longer than we thought.
I know. Yeah.
It's all right.
Oh, I enjoyed myself. Again, it's no different to... We just have these conversations weekly anyway, so it's no different. We don't feel like we have any unique viewpoint, but I'm always looking out for podcasts like this that just talk about lawn care equipment. I'm no star or professional when it comes to every product and everything you need to put on your lawn or what you need to do, but I love the equipment stuff. I try and listen to as much as I can. There's some stuff in the States, but I don't think there's, unless I'm missing it, anything local. So maybe we can fill that void.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
But every Tuesday we're going to be putting this out. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for joining me, Karthik.
My pleasure.
Until next Tuesday, you have a very lovely week.
Yep. Have a good one, everyone.
We've just got the outro now. Now it's just awkward. We'll just sit here quietly.
But you could sit quietly.
Yeah.